Hi there, this is MrFacer from Tech Game Tips, here for all your tech game and tips. Today we're going to be doing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories and we're going to be building a basic deck. So we're going to focus on sleights, higher level cards, cards to beat basic enemies and cards to beat bosses. All different things. We're going to focus on the basic deck here that will just sort of get you through the game. We're not going to worry about individual different things because certain enemies have different requirements. We're just going to go for a basic deck to help you start the game and go through. So, if we look here, you've got all the different Kingdom Keyblades. The level goes from 1 to 9, 9 highest, 1 the lowest, and 0 special cards. It's important to know that 9 will be 8 down, 8 will be 7 down, etc. And 0 breaks all cards and breaks sleights. So sleights are, if we go here to status, the things that you'll stack 3 cards and that will basically do a move for you. In this case, 3 attack cards of the same type, sliding dash. Now, when you use a sleight, the first card disappears. So when you organize a sleight, make sure you've set it up in a way that you can create more sleights off of that. So I'll show you here. You've got 3 cards, Cloud, Fire, Lady Luck and Wishing Star. If I was to attack with Cloud, Lady Luck and Wishing Star, Cloud will disappear and then I'll have to use Fire, Lady Luck and Wishing Star. Now if we go back here to Sliding Dash, it's the first one you get. Stun Impact, next one. You get these at different levels as you go through the game. So at the beginning, just use what you can. It's not to worry. Now, effective sleights for different bosses will come as you go along. You'll realise that certain enemies take damage different ways. For example, Axel's fire resistant. So you're going to want to remove all the fire cards for him and focus on Blizzard and Thunder. In this strategy I've got here, is a basic deck for fighting normal enemies. So you can see that it's set up for me to just use magic, attack, and that will cast a sleight and I can move on to the next one. I also like to organise my cards so after I've used a magic card, my remaining attack cards can be used for a secondary sleight and therefore I can keep rolling over and doing more damage at higher end. And this is really going to help you win the game. So I want people to realise that as soon as you can, Monstro and Olympus, that will grant you Fire Raid and Blizzard Raid, which will mean that you can use those on general enemies and you can just get that in there. That does massive damage. It's really hard to block because it's normally 3 quite high level cards and that will just sort of power through. Bosses are a bit harder, but normally a raid card can stop them from attacking with their sleights, things like that. So get that in there. Really good cards to use. This is a basic deck that I've used, as I said, so just sort of follow the line up there and that will really help. Now make sure as well that you focus on the right type of cards. As I said, so Axel is fire resistant, meaning if you hit him with fire you're going to heal him. So those fire cards are a waste. They're taking up valuable CP. You need to get rid of those, swap them out. That's more bosses though. General enemies, there's only a few that get healed by magic cards, so just keep a nice variety in there and you should be able to take down enemies normally. Elixirs here, special cards. Reload all attack and magic cards. As soon as you get an elixir, I would recommend putting them in your deck. They're very high CP, but don't worry about that. Just get them in there, even if you have to remove quite a few other cards. As you can see, I've only got 34 of 99, but it's completely worth it. Those cards make such a big difference to a deck. As soon as you run out of cards and you've worn all your magic cards down, an elixir brings them all the way back in and you can rinse and repeat on bosses and really wear them down very quickly. Some bosses can just be such a pain. Ventus, I struggled with him for ages and eventually beat him. I used a bit of a Joker deck on him, but it did work. So Sonic Blade, one of my favourite sleights. 3 attack cards of differing types. Total value between 20 and 23. The example there, Kingdom Key, 3 Wishes and Crab Claw, 6, 7 and 8. It's very hard for them to block. It's continual damage at mid-range, so always good to have. As you can see, after I've got all of my Thunder Raid, Fire Raid, Blizzard Raid, keep going down. So you've got Simba, Attack, and then 7 and 8. So those 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 6, 6, 7, 8. That's like 4 or 5 sleights all locked in together, and they're doing loads of damage, and just continually don't need to reload my cards because they're all there. So if you would attack an enemy first, it will stun them. I missed it on there, but that will be always a good attack. So as you can see, Fire Raid, I broke a card there, which means my cards had a higher value than theirs. It stops their attack, allows me to attack myself. Really important to wait for card breaks. It will make such a big difference when you're battling. So there you go, Blizzard Raid broke in there. Now as you can see, 2 lightning enemies and a fire enemy turned up. If I was to hit a lightning enemy with lightning, thunder, it will heal him, not damage him. So make sure you're playing the correct cards against the right people. Now, if you load cards in the wrong order, that will not work for you. So Simba to attack will do Shock Impact, and then as soon as I've done that, I've got Aero, Fire, Fire for Raging Storm. It's a quick technique and it does a lot of damage. So if you loaded Fire Attack, then Blizzard Attack, you've got 2 raids, one after another, loads of damage done. As you just saw there, 0 beat the 2. They broke my card afterwards because he played a 4 over the 0, and that will beat that. Also here you can see Wild Crush. Goofy Donald attack is one thing, but attack Donald Goofy is another, Trinity Limit. So make sure you've got the cards organised in the correct order for you, as that will make a difference. Friend cards, Donald and Goofy, they actually appear just throughout the game. You'll meet various people and their friend cards will be added as well, but it's only the ones you have with you at the time. So Donald and Goofy are with me in Castle Oblivion, Ariel's in Atlantica, etc, etc, and you'll see it work like that. Now also to mention, there are player cards, so when you beat bosses you'll get a card for that. Don't focus on those too much, they're more advanced stuff, they take high CP. For now, just focus on keeping in sort of magic and attack cards. They're the ones that are going to do damage, they're the ones that are going to beat the bosses. Keep them in the deck, they're what you need. When you get later on in the game, you can use player cards. I personally didn't, but that's not to say that they aren't really good. Hook, for example, he will keep you alive. If you take massive damage, there's more than 2 HP left, he will keep you alive, 1 HP. Lifesaver, literally. He's really good. Now, as you can see, I've organised my cards in a way that allows for various sleights one after another. So as soon as I use them all, I've got continual sleights being dropped in. If you want to use this deck, I recommend it. This one beats Axel, but can also be used generally as well. Just add a couple of fire ones in there, and that'd be perfect for general use. I've got a high CP here. As I said, I'm towards the end, so don't worry about that. If you've got a much lower CP, just use the sleights available to you in succession. You will win most games. Don't worry about that. If you are losing, just try to focus on getting a couple of high attacks in there, but mainly the sleights will do the job. So do not worry. Now, premium cards are the yellow ones. They cost less than another card of the same value. So loads of premium cards. We love them. They do the same damage or same healing and cost much less. You can keep more cards going. I keep 3 cures next to each other as it casts curaga. 3 fires would do the same, and so forth, so on. I also keep my 0 cards at the end because, as I said, they break sleights. If you're fighting a boss, quickly going to the left instead of travelling all the way through the deck will break a sleight and keep you alive right at the end when it's really necessary. So make sure you've got those around. Now, as I was saying before, Sonic Blade's one of my favourite sleights to use, but if there's a sleight that you feel is better for your deck, just use that instead. I've organised mine that's good for me, and I feel this is a really easy to understand deck. So there you can see it's like 555, 678, 456. All of these are various sleights. You need to make sure that your keyblade is in the right order as well. If you read the description of each keyblade, it will explain to you how each keyblade works in succession from the other. Now, sliding dash, as I said, is the first one you get. Just as the example, 3 wishes does not necessarily mean you have to use those cards for that sleight to work. It can be any. They're just giving you an example, so don't let that catch you out. It caught me out for a while. Yeah, so I feel that's the basic things you're going to need to know. If you've got any other problems, just leave a comment. I'll try and answer those. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.